First of all, David, to reflect on last night, obviously a disappointment not to make it to the final, but you must take great heart out of beating Manchester United.
Yeah, I was only saying to my father last night, it's probably the first time in my career I've ever beat Manchester United. Obviously we're disappointed to go out of the League Cup, and obviously another chance to go to Wembley and play in a final, but you know, we won the last 3 home games in a row, so that's obviously a good positive to try and take into the league.
Can you give us an idea of how the mood in the squad has changed over the last 3 weeks since Marco arrived? Because certainly on the field you seem to be a lot more positive. Yeah,
well, look, every manager has their own ideas. He's obviously come in, he's trying to implement his. I think you know, we've changed in the style that we've played, and you know, obviously he's brought that in, and you know, you can see, I suppose, in a sense, everybody's kind of got a clean slate, and everyone's thriving on it, and everybody's working hard and trying to obviously try and play. And I think in our previous performances we've seen that.
I remember back in August having a laugh about the so-called comings and goings and having a squad of 12 people at one point. I think, how difficult is it to maintain that level of positivity with all the noise in the background going on during this transfer window?
Well, I think the lads, you know, the majority of us are, you know, senior pros and been around a while and experienced similar enough situations, but you know, we've got a job to do. We want to be in the Premier League. We think we deserve to be in the Premier League, so you know, we've got to go about that. Obviously it's been tough. Anytime we've picked up injuries, we've been right down to the bare bones, but I think we've handled it well, and you know, obviously with the last few results we've had, you know, it's starting to look up.
Is it a distraction in any way?
No, it shouldn't be. I don't think it can be, really, because it's our job. We have to be professional. You know, you only need 11 players to, you know, play on a Saturday. We've got 11 players, so we're all right.
Marco's just been in and said, like, you can't compete at this level with a squad of only 15 or 16 players, so he's looking to bring more in. What's the outlook from your perspective now, still in the FA Cup and obviously a battle on your hands to stay in the Premier League?
You've just got to take the bull by the horns and go for it. We've been in this situation before a few years ago. It's going to be tough, yeah, we know that, and it's going to be tough at the start. I think you can see, you know, teams that have been in the Premier League for years are even struggling to pick wins up, but you know, we're looking forward to it. Like I said before, with the manager coming in, it's fresh ideas, you know, different training, and you know, we're enjoying it, and you know, long may it last.
And you've experienced an FA Cup final in the past. What's your reaction then when you hear some suggestion of maybe trying to prioritise the Premier League over the Cup?
Yeah, I see why people do it, of course, but you know, I got to play in an FA Cup final. I get constantly reminded. I know that we were 2-0 up and we lost, but you know, the day in itself was amazing. Everything, even the FA Cup semi-final against Sheffield United, to go to Wembley, to win at Wembley, and then to come back for the final. It's a chance to win silverware. A lot of players go through their careers and they don't win anything. I've been fortunate enough that I played in an FA Cup final. I won 2 promotions with Hull. You know, it's an opportunity. We've got Fulham on Sunday. If we can beat Fulham, you never know. You never know what will happen. We've been to the 5th round and might get another cup run like before.
Thank you.
Of course, that last cup run you had actually tied in with a pretty reasonable Premier League season as well, didn't it?
Well, you say pretty reasonable, but
well, I say reasonable because once you got to the final, of course, the league form sort of tailed away. But actually, when you were at this stage of the competition, your Premier League form was in pretty good nick, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, we had the job done by then. We didn't need to worry. Yeah, we had the job done. We were safe by then. I believe it was Fulham away. We drew 2-2. Shane Long scored in the last minute for a point. And I think that put us on 38. I think we lost our last 6 in a row. But we weren't worried. We didn't have FA Cup final to look forward to.
But can you draw parallels with the way that you're now playing, you know, particularly last night against Manchester United, and that year of 2014?
Yeah, of course. Look, to beat Man United, you look at the team they have with Zlatan, Pogba, Carrick, Smalling. So, I mean, they're littered with international superstars, or whatever way you want to put it. To beat them 2-1 at home, you know, and even we had chances. I know they obviously hit the bar as well, but we had chances to even, you know, when Niasse hits the bar, you just never know. The ball fell to Dawson, takes an incredible first touch, and I think he got nervous. But he is our second top scorer, so kind of expect him to score. But No, of course. If we just continue. Obviously, we can continue to keep winning games. I think we were winning games in 14 in the cup and that, and it ended up coming into the league. And obviously, winning games breeds a winning mentality. And
so, do you think in some ways that Man United victory last night can shape the rest of your Premier League season?
I wouldn't say that win can shape our season, but you look at it. We beat Bournemouth at home in the league, and we beat Swans in the FA Cup, and then we beat Manchester United at home as well. So that's 3 in a row. I don't think it would be just down to one game last night. I think the form's picked up at home, but we need to continue it. It's a lot easier said than done.
So what's this fella done to bring that kind of form to you?
You'll have to come and watch training. I'm not going into detail for detail, but he's implemented his way he wants us to play, and I think everyone's bought into it, which is huge. Like I said before, everyone's got a clean slate, so it's a fresh challenge. He's come in, and obviously he's brought in a few players he's worked with before, but 90% of the squad hasn't worked with him before, so it's an opportunity for everybody to play some game time.
How does everyone reflect on Livermore leaving, and it looks like Snodgrass is on his way out too?
Yeah, obviously we're all gutted for Jake to go, because Jake was a big personality. He was a very good player, don't get me wrong, but you don't see the other side to it of him around the place. And he's a good friend of mine, and likewise he has the Tottenham boys, and he's a well raised young fella, and he was great to have around. But look, an opportunity came for him to go, and I wish him all the best, but we've just got to worry about what's here. And Snodgrass, I believe, is still a Hull City player, so until he signs, he's still a Hull City player.
And the lads who've come in so far, what have you made of those and the impact they could have?
Yeah, I've been very impressed. Obviously, they've all worked with the manager, except Niasse, of course. But they know what he's about. They know what he wants, and they bought into it straight away. Obviously, a few of them have complained about the weather. It's a bit cold, but I'm sure they'll get used to it.
And just finally from me, Ryan Mason, have the players had much contact with him, and are you hearing how he's getting on?
We hear bits and pieces. Nowadays everything is in the press, social media, and they're all jumping straight to the headlines. But Michael Dawson went to see him the other day, and he said it was positive. And so obviously we're, from everyone with Hull City, all the players, I imagine every fan, we've seen the response it had globally in football. We wish him all the best, and we're all thinking about him. Just hope to see him back as soon as we can.
David, just to ask you about the coach, is it the things he's implemented and the tactics and the technical side of it, or is he more of a man manager and a people person, or is it a combination of both?
It's a combination of both, but it's very hard to obviously compare one manager to another. I've had Steve Bruce for 8 years. Unbelievable man manager. Everything was very good to me. I could never say a bad word about him. Obviously, McPhelan came in, was very good to all of us. We had him as an assistant under Steve Bruce, and it's kind of a club like Hull. It's kind of a family orientated place. As you see when you come to training grounds, it's a small training ground. Everyone's kind of on top of one another. Everyone's together. But I think we realised that we were in a tough situation, and we really had to knuckle down, and we worked really hard in training. So I think we're starting to get that slice of luck now. Long may it last.